Do a bit of filming in the snow today. It's perfect conditions to show you my beautiful fingerless glove pattern with the trinity stitch detail. It's a free pattern, so if you'd like to knit this, then let me know. My email address is info@thecastingcouch.co.uk. For demonstration purposes, I'm using a really chunky yarn, so this fingerless glove pattern should be in a double knitting yarn using 3.5 and 4mm needles. So with 3.5mm needles, I need you to cast on 40 stitches. Row 1 is knit row. Row 2, you knit 8 and then you make 1 and you carry that on throughout the row. The last 8 stitches you knit 8. So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you make 1 by picking up a strand that lies in between the 2 stitches and knitting through the back. Now introduce 4mm needles and knit 7, purl 12, knit 25. So this will be the right side of the work and it's the first row of the main pattern. This will make the left glove. The right glove has a slightly different arrangement. Row 2 of main pattern is purl 25, then knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all into 1 stitch and then purl 3 together. Now repeat that another 2 times and purl 7 at the end. Row 3 is as row 1. You knit 7, purl 12 and knit 25. So row 4 of pattern is purl 25, then purl 3 together, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, all into the same stitch. Do that another 2 times. So basically you purl 25, trinity stitch 12 and then purl 7 at the end. Those 4 rows are your main pattern, so just repeat those 4 rows until you have 10 centimeters for the short length glove and 22 centimeters for the long glove. You need to be ready to start on a right side row. Pretend that we've done 10 centimeters for a short glove. Pretend we've got 10 centimeters there. So we're going to do the holding of the stitches for the thumb. So basically pattern to the last 7 stitches and then get a stitch holder and just slip them. Just put them on your stitch holder. You'll carry on working those later. Just forget about them for a little while. Then I want you to carry on and do 2 rows forgetting about those stitches, so just carry on in pattern as you have been doing. Next row, cast on 7 stitches at the beginning of the row like so. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I want you to just carry on in pattern and knit again those stitches that you've just cast on. So purling those, so just carry on for the entire row and basically keep going on in pattern until you have 5 centimetres of knitting from this edge that you've just cast on. We're now going on to the final part, creating the thumb area and just general tips for finishing the gloves. So we move on to the actual yarn type, which is a double knitting. So we're no longer using the chunky yarn, which is just purely to demonstrate some of the difficulty in the pattern. But actually it's very straightforward, I think. But please email me at info@thecastingcouch.co.uk if you want me to email over a copy of this pattern, because this is just purely a video guide. And let me know how you get on. Thanks for watching. I have some tips here for completing the thumb on your fingerless gloves. This is the right glove, which I've already done the thumb on here, that's ready for sewing. A little tip for you, leave a large length when you've cast off, because that way you'll be able to tell the top from the bottom of your glove. When you do the short length, it's sometimes hard to tell, so that's quite a good way. And then you've got the length of yarn for sewing up later, which I'll demonstrate. So here, this is my left glove. This is what it should look like before you do the thumb. You've got 7 stitches on hold. You've got 2 rows here. Then you've cast on 7, so you get this cut-out effect. And that's how the thumb is created on this particular type of fingerless glove. So what we're going to do, we've got the 7 from the stitch holder. I'm just going to slip 2 from those extra gained rows, and then I'm going to slip another 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've now slipped a total of what should be 16 stitches along here. So what we're going to do now is just do stockinette stitch for 12 rows and then cast off. So I'm at the end of my first row of stockinette stitch. So just go back and purl and just keep going until you've done 12 rows and then cast off, and that will be your thumb created. When you cast off in a slightly smaller needle. So this is double knitting and I'm using 4mm needles, and I'm casting off with 3.5mm needles. Sew the thumb together first when you're completing your glove. You do that by basically just turning the right sides in together and sewing down from the top to the base of the thumb. So you do that first. With the thumb pointing towards the top of the glove, just sew along the side seam now with a running stitch and turn it inside out, and then that's your finished glove. Say corn.